Hello everyone, this is part 29 of What If Naruto Had the Ultimate Dojutsu, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. A little later, Naruto stretched himself awake in his chair while he saw Tsume laying on top of him. He chuckled at seeing her sleeping on him like it was natural. Their little makeup session was really intense and would have been heard by all of Konoha if Naruto hadn't thought ahead with that privacy seal, but he was also happy that Tsume was smiling again. Speaking of Tsume, the Inuzuka woman opened her eyes and was greeted to the sight of the young blonde Hokage's warm smile. Tsume smiled back before she kissed his cheek. "You really are aggressive, aren't you?" she asked, and Naruto sat up from his chair. "Only with you, Inu-hime. So what are you going to do?" Naruto asked her, and Tsume put a finger to her chin before she got to her feet. She buttoned her shirt and Naruto did the same. "Well, for right now I guess I'll wait for that bastard to arrive if you're right. I also think I'll go check on Kiba now that I have the time. I'll see you later, okay Naruto-kun?" she asked, and the blonde smiled with a nod. "Not Hokage-sama this time?" he asked, and Tsume rubbed the back of her head. "You know me better than that, pup," she said before she opened the door and left the room, leaving Naruto all by his lonesome. The blonde sighed and quickly got dressed, then placed his Hokage robe back on the chair. He decided to get up and leave too, since he had to go find Mei. Who knows where she was at the moment? Now that Naruto had to think about it, that Mizukage was really a cute one. She really seemed playful in her own right as well as mature in other aspects. He also had to remember that he was dealing with a Kage, woman or not, she was definitely the real deal in comparison to him. Granted, he might be the Hokage, he wondered if he was actually of Kage rank. Well, he could think about that later. If I remember it right, then she might be gambling, which for all I know is right near the bars, since Tsunade Barkin had those things installed near her office, Naruto said, and he left the office, then hit the streets. He heard the murmurs of people who were looking at him and sighed. Village pariah or Hokage, he was still going to be talked about. "Greetings Hokage-sama," some civilians and the blonde waved to them. They all seemed genuine enough, but he could still hear some other comments. "To think someone so young is our Hokage. He must be good. Are you kidding? He's still that damn brat who played tricks on us." I don't know what Tsunade-sama was thinking. All these comments Naruto heard, and the blonde rolled his eyes at them all. He could have done something about them, but he allowed them to think whatever they wanted since it was their right to do so. Naruto continued to walk through the village before turning to his right, and he noticed a gambling joint. The blonde sighed and rubbed his head as he noticed Mei Terumi by a slot machine and buckets of money. The onlookers next to her gasped at her winning streak, and Mei smiled. "It's too easy," she said as she pulled the lever and earned another jackpot. The money rolled out on her and she smiled before she saw Naruto behind her. "Keep doing that and Konoha's gonna be in debt because of you," Naruto told her, and Mei chuckled before she stepped out of her seat and took her money into a few scrolls. "It's not my intention, Naruto-san. I just like to get some money when I can," she said, and the blonde simply nodded as he walked out and Mei followed him. Once the two Kage hit the streets, Mei tapped Naruto on the shoulder. "So I take it that my plan worked out well?" she asked, and Naruto closed his eyes with chuckled. "It was awesome, Mei-san. I've never been so grateful in my life. So what reward do you want?" Naruto asked, and Mei put a finger to her chin. She thought it over for a few seconds and just gave Naruto her usual warm smile. "Then take me on a late night walk over the village. It must be nice to see this place in the nighttime," she said, and Naruto raised an eyebrow at her. He thought it over and he didn't have any plans at that point in time, so it was fine with him. "All right then. I'll take you on one. I'll see you in a bit then," he told her before he walked off, and Mei decided to go back to Ao and Chojuro for the rest of the day. With Sasuke, the Uchiha heir looked around the village and sighed. He had to get stronger. He needed to train, and he needed to get some now. Ever since he had learned about Itachi, he felt his desire for power dwindling, but what did he need? Was it revenge? He didn't have that anymore. Damn it, what is it with me? What am I missing? He wondered before he felt a tap on his shoulder. The Uchiha heir turned his head and he widened his eyes at the sight of his old sensei, Genma Shiranui. You? He asked, and the bodyguard to the Hokage gave a small sigh before he rubbed the back of his head. Never thought I'd see you in such a mess, Sasuke, Genma said, and Sasuke looked at the ground with a slight scowl. He balled his fists and Genma could tell that Sasuke was rather troubled by his circumstances. Go ahead and laugh. What does it matter anymore? I lost my reasons to get stronger. I want to hate Itachi. I want to hate this village, but I know I can't do it. Why does Naruto, the loser, the last, get all the power? Why does he get to be Hokage? What does he have that I don't? Sasuke asked, and Genma narrowed his eyes. He would have scolded Sasuke on respect to the Hokage, but he could do that later. For right now, he felt a little compelled to help his student. Sasuke, follow me, Genma said as he walked away. Sasuke watched his former sensei leave before he followed him. The two traversed the village center and Genma waved at all the smiling civilians and his fellow shinobi. Sasuke watched all the interactions as Genma smiled. The smiles of people's faces. The meeting of your friends knowing that they are safe. The serene feeling of it all. Sasuke, what do you call this? Genma asked, and Sasuke raised an eyebrow as he watched people converse with smiles on their faces. I don't know, he said, and Genma chuckled with a slight nod. Well, you're young so you wouldn't know just yet, but this is called peace. It's something every nation strives for. It's something we all want to protect with our lives. Once you find something to protect, that's when you grow strong. Sasuke, Naruto-sama has always been looked down upon. He had no one at a young age, but then he found friends. He gets angry when they're hurt, he loves having them around, and he aids them when they need him. Same for all of us. Naruto realized his dream. He dreamed to be Hokage to protect everyone in the village. I really admire him for that. You might say that he's just as good a prodigy as Itachi, if not better, Genma said, and Sasuke looked at the ground. You really believe that protecting someone is strength? He asked, and Genma smiled. I know the Uchiha way is survival of the fittest. If you're weak then you're left behind, but that's not Naruto's way and you see that firsthand right now, Genma said, and Sasuke sighed while the man spoke. You know Naruto-sama told me these words one time, he said, and Sasuke listened. Flashback. Naruto stood on top of the Hokage mansion rooftops with Genma behind him. The blonde looked down at the village and simply smiled away. He felt giddy for some reason that he wasn't sure of, and it made Genma look at him strangely. He could never understand the way that Naruto thought before he asked a question. Naruto, would you mind indulging me a bit? Genma asked, and Naruto turned around. A small breeze came through and lifted his jacket to the air. What is it, Genma-san? Naruto asked as he turned around to face the village while Genma sighed. He was rather happy that Naruto would answer this question as he just really wanted to know it for some reason. He just had to know. Why? Why is it that you can smile and be cheery after all the things that the village did to you because of your burden? It's just so amazing how strong you are. I mean, Tokubutsu Jonin at 13 and Hokage at 14. How can you manage it all? Genma asked, and Naruto looked down at the village again. He closed his eyes and smiled as he turned to Genma. Don't give up. It's just the weight of the world. When the heart's heavy I can lift it because I know what's important to me. Les mean nothing to me anymore as much as protecting what's important to me. I just want to be heard by all my loved ones. I broke the silence of wanting to stay the village pariah. I want to be understood and be heard by my village. You know everyone wants acceptance. It's never good to give up. I love this village so much. My precious people are here and I swore I would protect them. They burn within my soul. When there is darkness around them I want to be the light that draws it away. I always tried to hide my pain, but I turned it into strength. Genma, I want to protect this village with my breath. How about you? Naruto asked, and Genma widened his eyes. He looked at the ground in shock of Naruto's words. He's so young and yet he's this smart. It's no wonder he's so strong, Genma thought before he got back to Naruto's question. I completely agree with you. This village isn't so bad and it's very peaceful here. I want to protect it all, Genma said, and Naruto nodded with a sure smile on his face. Genma, this village is loved. I will never give up and neither should you Databayo. Naruto said, and Genma quickly nodded as he and Naruto left the rooftops to go inside. End flashback. He said that to you. Sasuke asked and Genma nodded as they walked towards a small little shop. Sasuke, you might be disrespectful, arrogant, prideful, and an all-around jerk, but you're a member of Konoha and it's going to stay that way, Genma said, and Sasuke looked at the ground while the Hokage bodyguard took Sasuke into the shop. The two walked through a small door in the back and went down the basement. Down there was a door that Genma opened and he walked inside while Sasuke followed him inside. Sasuke gasped at the sight of a waterfall and a small little island of land where there was a pond of koi fish swimming around. Train with me here, Sasuke, and I can assure you that you will find what you're looking for, Genma said, and Sasuke nodded. He narrowed his eyes and sighed. Something to protect her, he thought before he balled his fist. Then please teach me, Genma-sensei. I want to get stronger, Sasuke said, and Genma closed his eyes as he rubbed the back of his head. This is gonna be so much work, Genma thought to himself before he and Sasuke got started. With Naruto, the blonde was currently in the house in the living room. He seemed to be the only one around at the moment and simply let the silence wash over him. He slowly sighed and closed his eyes as he opened his hands. He concentrated for a few minutes before and allowed his image of a kunai come into his mind. His chakra flared indefinitely and before long a large kunai came into his hands and the blonde smiled. Well, I still have that down. Now let's try that yang release again, Naruto said to himself before he closed his eyes again. He pictured his chakra flowing into the weapons that he created and sighed. He then opened his eyes, but the kunai did nothing and the blonde cursed. He did it again as he closed his eyes. Kyuubi told him to feel that life energy going into the weapon, but what was that supposed to mean? How could he change his chakra into yang release chakra that would help him out? Kuso, this is freaking difficult, Naruto said before he sent two clones to go and practice his Mokuton release for the moment. He would need to get that down in the future, and now that the blonde thought about it, he could always have some more work with his Fuinjutsu, so Naruto scattered some more clones to do that for him while he tried to work with his yang release, which wasn't turning up that many successful results, if any. The blonde groaned out his complaints before ultimately sighing. What am I doing wrong? Naruto wondered before he heard the doorknob twist. He saw it open and immediately the blonde watched Fu, Kasumi and Yugito come through the room. See, I told you Ichiraku's ramen was awesome, Kasumi said as her tail waged around. Yugito sighed with a nod, but she couldn't refute the dog girl's words. Not at all. That ramen was easily the best ramen that Yugito had ever had in her life. Soon all three girls noticed Naruto looking at them weirdly before Kasumi ran up and quickly laid in the blonde's lap while she wrapped her arms around his neck. Greetings, Naruto-sama. How have you been? Kasumi asked, and before Naruto could respond to her question, she quickly came him, shocking Yugito and Fu at the same time before jealousy came over them both. That little sneak, Fu said while Yugito folded her arms with a nod. It's good to see you, Kasumi-chan. I've been well, so how have you girls been? Naruto asked and Fu smiled. Oh, doing girl stuff. Although I could use a good mission right now, Fu said, and Naruto tapped his cheek. You know you aren't really considered a Konoha shinobi yet, Naruto told her, and Fu paled. What? She asked, and Naruto smiled as he held out a Konoha headband. Well, you were only staying here due to me taking responsibility over you with my clan status. You weren't really instated as a Konoha shinobi. So what do you say? Naruto asked her, and Fu quickly grabbed the headband and wrapped it around her waist. She smiled as she kissed Naruto on the cheek. Now I'm one, right? She asked, and Naruto nodded before turning to Yugito. How about you, Neko-hime? He asked, and Yugito blushed at the pet name before she scratched her cheek. She chuckled nervously at Naruto's question, and the blonde shook his head at her. Well, no rush for now, Naruto told her, and Yugito merely nodded with a silent word of thanks to her fiancé for not rushing her decision. Soon the blonde stood to his feet and stretched his legs. He yawned for a bit and went to get some water while Kasumi and Fu looked to see the clones training in the backyard. Soon a bit of inspiration hit the dog girl the hardest as she quickly ran up to Naruto and grabbed his arm. Naruto-sama, can you help me create a new taijutsu technique? Kasumi asked, and Naruto raised an eyebrow. Kasumi gave a cheery smile while Naruto took a drink of water. I'm alright then. What brought this one? Naruto asked, and Kasumi's tail wagged left and right. Call it inspiration, she said, keeping her purely innocent smile, and Naruto chuckled. He decided to take a small break from his training and sat on the table. Fu and Yugito were really surprised that Kasumi would want to create a taijutsu move, but more why she didn't want a ninjutsu one. Any Kasumi-chan, why don't you ask for something in regards to ninjutsu? Fu asked, and Kasumi sighed. Well, the Inuzuka aren't really made for carrying chakra and we can't do moves like those. The only ninjutsu move that I can learn, thankfully, is the Kage Bunshin technique. That's also only because Kyubi-sama's chakra is circulating through my body. I don't think I can learn anything else, Kasumi said while Fu and Yugito gasped in understanding. Naruto took out a piece of papers and placed it on the table. Alright Kasumi-chan, let me see if I can't help you out with what you want, Naruto said, and Kasumi yipped, and that seemed to be a verbal tick for her which made the others smile or laugh at her. Kasumi blushed at it while Naruto turned to her. Alright, for this taijutsu, does it utilize chakra? Naruto asked, and Kasumi nodded with a smile while the blonde wrote across the paper. Yeah, it does, Naruto-sama, Kasumi replied, and the blonde nodded. Are you using your legs, hands, or both? Naruto asked her, and Kasumi smiled again. Legs, of course, she said, and Naruto continued to write on the paper. Fu and Yugito seemed confused, but let the blonde clan head work on Kasumi's jutsu while he asked another question. Offensive or defensive? He asked. Although all taijutsu should have an appropriate defense, he still wanted to know it for future purposes. Alright, offensive, she said, and Naruto nodded before he smiled at what she might be getting at. Utilizes speed or power or the balance of both? He asked, and Kasumi sighed at the long list of questions. She visibly groaned, making everyone chuckle. Alright, utilizes both, she said, and Naruto nodded as he put the finishing touches on what she might have wanted, but for that, he would need help from the two people that he would never once set their feet in his house, but he had no choice. He snapped his fingers and an Anbu came behind him while Naruto comically cried. Bring me Guy and Lee, Naruto said, sounding defeated, and the Anbu left the room while Kasumi shuddered. Naruto-sama, I don't really need a move after all. I'll just go with what I have, Kasumi said fast, but Naruto patted her on the shoulder. I wish you luck, Kasumi-chan, and I will do all in my power to make them help you without you losing your mind, Naruto told her, and Kasumi gulped. Yugito seemed confused and looked to Fu for an explanation, to which the Nanabi Jinchuriki sighed. You'll understand once they get here, Fu said, and Yugito wondered if something was coming that was beyond her comprehension. About 5 minutes later, Naruto and Kasumi shuddered as they heard a knock on the door. The blonde walked towards it and sighed. He opened it, and immediately he was met with the two weirdest shinobi in the world. The green jumpsuit-clad shinobi looked at Naruto and gave him a thumbs up. Hey Hokage-sama, are you the one who summoned us on this fine and very why? Naruto stopped Guy and allowed the two to come inside. I'll say this now, Guy, Lee. Kasumi-chan wants to create a new taijutsu move as well as learn a few others. I would really like you to help her, Naruto said, and Guy gave a smile while his teeth shined, making the three girls sweet drop. Our sensei, Kasumi-chan wants to follow us in our footsteps, Lee said, and Guy nodded as he quickly shook Kasumi's hand. It's nice to meet such a youthful girl so enthusiastic about taijutsu. Come young one and we will do our exercises until our hearts give out, Guy said, and Kasumi just nodded dumbly. I really don't think that, Kasumi was interrupted by Naruto, who patted Guy and Lee's shoulders. Alright, rule 1, you are to not say anything about youth for the entire duration of Kasumi's training. Rule 2, you will not hug each other in her presence or ever. Rule 3, you take it seriously. Naruto's voice thundered, making Guy and Lee nod. Yes Hokage-sama, they said, and Naruto sighed as he patted Kasumi's shoulders before turning back to Guy and Lee. And if I see Kasumi wearing anything green, I will personally extinguish you both on the spot. Understood? He asked, and they all nodded while the blonde sighed. Alright Kasumi-chan, you go with them and learn all you can, Naruto told her, and Kasumi hesitantly walked away with Guy and Lee while the blonde closed the door. You sent her to the lion's den, you know that, right? Fu asked, and Naruto rubbed the back of his head. I really hope this was a good idea, Naruto said, and Fu shook her head while Yugito sported a confused expression. I'm afraid I don't understand, Yugito said to them both, and Naruto looked to her. If you don't know, then it's all the more better that way. Trust me, you're the only pure one who hasn't seen it, Naruto said ominously before walking away into the kitchen, leaving Yugito in the dark while Fu turned to her. A jutsu so power, so horrible, so terrible that it was labeled a SSS rank technique. It is the strongest genjutsu in the world. Even stronger than Naruto-kun's Tsukuyomi. For your sanity, don't face it, Fu said before leaving, and Yugito raised an eyebrow before the three heard a hard pound on the door. It was very fast and hard while Fu opened the door. She saw Nana and Kanari come through the door and both huffed. Where is Naruto-kun? Kyubi asked fervently, and Fu immediately pointed to the kitchen. Kyubi ran that way and Nanabe turned to Yugito. Yugito-san, I'm sorry, but we really need Nibi-chan out here, Nanabe said, and Yugito widened her eyes while Nibi seemed rather confused by all that was going on. What do they need me for? Nibi thought to herself while Yugito responded. Why? She asked while Fu raised an eyebrow. Yeah, what's going on? The Nanabe Jinchuriki asked, and Nanabe turned to her friend and former jailer. I'll have to tell you later, but for now please trust me and release Nibi, Nanabe said, and Yugito shook her head. But I don't know how to. I only started Fuinjutsu training just a day ago, she said, and Nanabe cursed while Kyubi brought Naruto to the living room. Please Naruto-kun, we need you to do it. It's important, Kyubi said, and Naruto narrowed his eyes at her. He wasn't going to not trust Kyubi on what was important or not, but not many things could get her that frantic about something, so this must be big. Kyubi-chan, what's going on? Naruto asked, and Kyubi sighed. Naruto-kun, I promise to tell you, but for now just trust me and Nanabe. We really need Nibi out, Kyubi said, and Naruto closed his eyes. He thought for a few seconds and nodded. Well, it's your call, Yugito-chan, Naruto said. A Kyubi and Nanabe gave her their best pleading look. Yugito looked at them both and saw the distress in their eyes. Well, if it's important then okay, she said as she lifted up her shirt. Kyubi and Nanabe breathed a sigh of relief while Naruto rubbed Yugito's seal, making her blush a little, and the blonde made 5 white seals. He s them on Yugito's seal and the blonde winced before she was covered in white light. Naruto quickly made a clone and directed the light into the clone. Everyone covered their eyes for a little bit, and before long they all stared at a beautiful woman with ocean blue hair that ran down her shoulders. She wore a dark kimono just like Kyubi and Nanabe. She wore some sandals to complete the look. She wore a dark blue sash around her waist and smiled. Ugh, I'd celebrate my getting out, but I take it this is an emergency? She asked, making Kyubi and Nanabe nod fast while Nibi sighed. Alright then. I'll see you later, kitten and you, Nibi said to Naruto. The blonde gulped and blushed as she kissed his cheek while giving a sultry smile. My thanks for releasing me, you little cutie, she said while Kyubi twitched her eyebrow along with Nanabe before they grabbed Nibi's shoulders and ran out the door, with Nibi waving goodbye to them as they closed the door, with Naruto, Fu and Yugito staring. What just happened? Fu asked, but no one had an answer for her in the least while Naruto decided to help Yugito with more of her Fuinjutsu training for the day until the night came into the sky. With Kyubi, Nanabe, and Nibi. The 2 Bayu ran with the third one to the cryptanalysis department before Nibi stopped. Would you both mind telling me what's going on? She asked them while Kyubi and Nanabe paused long enough to try and answer. He's coming. We're sure of it, Nanabe said, and Nibi raised an eyebrow before throwing her hands up in the air. Who's coming? What's going on? Nibi asked, and Kyubi growled as she looked at the ground. Sato Saranzo. He's here on Earth, Kyubi said to Nibi, and the two-tailed cat raised an eyebrow. Who's Sato Saranzo? She asked them, and Nanabe face-palmed herself before sighing. What do you mean, who is it? Think, Nibi. Think really hard about it, Nanabe said to her, and the Bayu closed her eyes. She racked her brain left and right for an answer to her question. The name felt familiar for Nibi, but she for all her life couldn't remember the name until it hit her on the head. The Bayu paled and gasped as she looked at Kyubi and Nanabe. No way. That's impossible. You know just as well as I do that we took care of him with the Rikido Sennin, Nibi said, and Kyubi growled before she ultimately calmed down. Well, he's back somehow and it won't be long before we have to deal with him, Kyubi said as the 3 Bayu ran off to go to the cryptanalysis division of Konoha. With Sato Saranzo, the mysterious man trudged the forests of Oto and looked around. He growled in frustration before he grabbed his sword and s it at a tree, completely see it in half, making a loud noise. Where are they? I've checked all the previous locations and they're nowhere to be found. Sato said before he narrowed his eyes. He felt 6 signatures around him before he was swarmed by bandits. They all chuckled at him evilly while the swordsman closed his eyes. Hey Ni-chan, drop your good and beat it before we KU, one of them said, and Sato showed them all a key that made him flinch. HMPH, you mortals and your threats. You've nothing to base it on. Why should I ever be scared of you weakuses? Sato asked, and they all glared at him while one twirled a kunai and walked up to him. Look here buddy, you're outnumbered and outmatched, so why don't I just take your money and go before I mess up that pretty face of yours, the man said as he did a light S on Sato's face. The mysterious man's hair shadowed his eyes before he grabbed the leader's arm and effectively snapped it in two, making him yell out. Don't touch me you trash, he said before he took out his sword, and in a flash he appeared behind the bandit leader. He sheathed his sword while B sprayed from the bandit's body until he fell to the ground. The bandits gasped before Sato turned to them. Now listen here. You are all going to do as I say or I'll KO you where you stand just like your lord right here, Sato said to them all, and most resigned themselves to laughing at the man before one charged at him. He went swooping in and Sato closed his eyes. By my hand, the bandit yelled before he stopped and noticed a dark purplish aura wrapping itself around Sato's sword. He glared at the man before he pierced his body in an instant and pinned him to a tree. The man's body started to decay until he fell to the ground as nothing more than a sack of bones. Sato licked his lips before turning to the others. Anyone else want to try their hand at a god? Sato asked, and everyone gulped before they moved away from him, making Sato smile as he sheathed his sword. He looked at them all and sighed. You will all follow my orders from now on. Betray me and it will be your heads. Now then, tell me what any of you know about swords, he said to them, and one person came forward. We know nothing, Sato-sama, he said, and the man closed his eyes. Useless mortals. Fine, then tell me where the most powerful place is, Sato said to them, and everyone raised their eyebrows at him. There is a place that is said to have a god and angel as its protectors, one of the bandits said, and Sato narrowed his eyes. Is that right? Very well then. We're going to Omegakure, Sato said, and the bandits paled. But Sato-sama, why? Someone asked, and he smiled. If someone is claiming to be a god there, then I will go and see if he has what I seek, Sato said as he walked away while the bandits hesitantly followed him towards Omegakure. For what reason they all didn't know, but they would follow him anyway. Back in Konoha, nighttime. Alright Yugito-chan, we'll end your lesson here, Naruto said, and he saw Yugito fall on her back to the floor. He chuckled at her while the Nibi Jinchuriki sighed. Who knew it was so complicated? She asked, and Naruto shook his head at her. Now you see why Fuinjutsu isn't an explored subject. It's not like you have to become a Fuinjutsu master, Yugito-chan, Naruto said, and the Nibi Jinchuriki glared hard at him. Are you saying that I can't do it? She asked, and Naruto gulped while Yugito playfully glared at him. No. He asked, and Yugito smiled. Good. Well, I guess that's it for today. See you later, Naruto-kun, Yugito said, picking up the books and walked towards her room while Naruto smiled. He then hopped to his feet and Keifu, who was sitting on the couch, on the forehead. See you later, Fu-chan, Naruto told her, and the Nanabi Jinchuriki watched her mate leave the house before she smiled. I didn't tell him about the crystals we found in that cave, but I think I can tell him about it later, I guess, Fu said to herself before she giggled and buried herself in her book that she was reading with a giddy smile. With Naruto, the blonde was currently on his way through the streets of Konoha, and he saw the lights flare around the village. He smiled, and before long the Hokage managed to see the Mizukage near her hotel as she waited for the blonde. Did I take too long? Naruto asked, and Mei shook her head at him before she gave a light smile. No, you didn't. You're right on time, Blondie, she said, and Naruto smiled with a nod as the two decided to start their walk. Mei kept close to Naruto during the entire thing as she marveled at the lights that Konoha had to offer at nighttime. So tell me, how do you like the cage position so far? Mei asked, and Naruto rubbed the back of his head. It's rather enjoyable when it has to be, but very taxing the next. It's hard to explain, Naruto said to her, and before he knew anything Mei was laughing at him with a sure nod on her face. I see, well I can understand that as I just got this position recently also. We beginners have to stick together, don't we? She asked, and Naruto chuckled with a quick nod. That's right. It feels good to know I'm not the only one going through this, Naruto told her, and Mei nodded with a smile on her face. Just remember these words. A cage might be a dictator, but, she began as Naruto decided to finish it as he knew about the oaths. But they are nothing without their village behind them, Naruto said, and needless to say, but Mei was rather shocked or surprised that he would know that, but then again all Cage knew about the Cage oath to their villages. That's right, Naruto-kun. You have the makings of a great Cage, she said, and Naruto turned to her while giving a nod. Yeah, I'd like to think that I can get one in every once in a while, he said to her, and Mei chuckled with a light nod as the two entered a small training ground. They both sat in the forest canopies and looked at the bright moon in the sky. Mei noticed Naruto's eyes even more exquisite than before, which was something to admire. Mei, unconsciously, kissed Naruto's cheek, earning a blush from the blonde as he turned to her. He lightly touched his cheek and smiled. What was that for? He asked her, and Mei shrugged her shoulders. Who knows? Maybe I just like being that way with some people. Of course it helps that they are really cute, Mei said, and Naruto closed his eyes with a smile. Would your village be happy with you doing this with another Cage? Naruto asked while Mei faltered from the question, but she quickly rebounded with a light smile as she put her finger to Naruto's chin and turned his gaze to hers. Well then, maybe we can work out some kind of treaty between our villages, she asked, and Naruto grinned at her suggestion along with a small blush. Well, I don't really mind, but you'll have to take it up the alpha female, Naruto told her, and Mei's eyebrow twitched with a light nod as she figured that he was talking about Sume. Oh, I don't think you have to worry about that, Mei said, and Naruto chuckled again before they heard a yell. Both looked and strained their eyes to see someone training. He was going through some katas of his family's form before breathing heavily. Naruto smiled and jumped out of the tree while Mei did the same before he called. Hey Sasuke, Naruto called, and the Uchiha turned around to see the blonde Hokage and some woman coming up to him. The Uchiha swiped some sweat from his brow and put a stop to his training. HN, what do you want, loser? Sasuke asked rudely, to which Mei noticed, but Naruto told her that it was Sasuke's way of dealing with people, so Mei wrote it off. Hey team, just wondered what you were doing all the way out here, Naruto told him, and Sasuke gave a small smirk as he closed his eyes. I'm just going over some methods of training, to which I should get back to immediately, Sasuke said, and suddenly Mei smiled as she turned to Naruto. Hey Naruto-kun, why don't we have a spar? I've always wanted to see just how powerful you really are. If you don't mind, she said, and Sasuke paused while Naruto smiled. He turned to her and nodded. Sure, I'm always down for some training, Databio, Naruto told her, and Mei nodded as they walked away, but they noticed Sasuke following them. They figured he was excited at seeing two Cage-level shinobi give a fight about it. He also realized that Naruto was giving him a signal to keep it to himself, to which the Uchiha nodded. He always wasn't going to be stupid like the other times and use his Sharingan. He would observe it just like any other person. Naruto and Mei came into a more vacant field and stood apart from each other. Naruto cracked his knuckles and Mei flipped her hair before placing a hand on her side while Sasuke was the supposed proctor. Why do I have to do this? Sasuke asked, and Naruto rolled his eyes. Just do it, team, Naruto told him, and Sasuke grumbled before he raised on hand in the air. HN, match between Hokage Naruto and Mizukage Mei-san. Begin. He yelled, and Naruto smiled as did Mei. The blonde quickly threw a shuriken while Mei parried it with a kunai. The shuriken went into the air, but Mei never took her eye of Naruto. The blonde grinned before he vanished in a blur of speed. Sasuke widened his eyes, and so did Mei before the Mizukage blocked a kick to her face from the blonde. Naruto gasped at her reaction time while Mei glared at him. She grabbed his foot as Naruto twisted his upper body and tried to pinch her, but Mei blocked that also until she lifted her foot and kicked Naruto across the face. Mei would have been happy with her accomplishment, but soon Naruto disappeared in a puff of smoke, making Mei gasp before she heard cackling. She looked off in the distance and Naruto ran towards her. Sasuke gasped at Naruto's use of the attack already, but the blonde wasn't holding anything back. Chidori, Naruto yelled as he dashed at Mei, but he noticed her going through some hand signs and she yelled. Yoten, Yokai no Jutsu, lava release, melting apparition jutsu, Mei shouted, and a blanket of lava came into the air over Naruto, and the blonde cursed as he stopped his Chidori and quickly disappeared in yellow lightning as the lava s into the ground. Mei giggled as shook her head. So he really is one of a kind, she said before she noticed Naruto in the air. The blonde smiled at her while Mei did her hand signs. Yoten, Taju Yogun no Jutsu, lava release, multi-lava bullets jutsu, she yelled, sending the lava into the air at Naruto, and the blonde quickly did his hand signs as he defended his body. Immediately sand rose in the air and covered Naruto's form as Mei's lava impacted with the sand, making it explode. She smiled at her accomplishment while Sasuke looked to see if Naruto really would lose that easily. Both watched as Naruto dropped out of the sky before backflipping and landing into the ground. He smiled and closed his eyes while he clapped. Yep, you really are the Mizukage. Not that I had doubts, but you can't be too sure. Now then, let me show you why I'm called the Limitless Bloodline Ninja, Naruto said as he got down on one knee. He held up his hands and the sand swirled while his shadow came out. Kajime no Jutsu, Naruto yelled as his shadow ran straight for Mei along with his sand. Mei gasped and backflipped away from the incoming attack while the sand tried to subdue her. She dodged to the right, left and jumped in the air as she tried not to get caught. Wow, he's tough, Mei said to herself before she spotted Naruto's smile. The same smile that meant hell for anyone who was in his vicinity. Mei put her senses on full blast before she heard the trees rustle. Immediately she was overtaken by two clones as she dropped to the ground. Mei threw two shuriken at him, but the clone blocked them and one dropped next to her as it smiled. You're within my field of divination, Mei-chan, Naruto told her while Mei widened her visible eye as the clone struck her. Ni-sho, Yon-sho, Haka-sho, Juroku-sho, Sanju-ni-sho, Rokujuyan-sho, the clone yelled as it s all of her chakra points while Mei gasped from each hit. She was suddenly sent skidding back a few feet and huffed while the Naruto clone grinned. Mei smiled as she cracked her N. He's a tough one all right, but very fun indeed. However, Mei said as she dissolved into lava, making Naruto and his clones gasp. Lava Bunshin. Naruto wondered before he turned around to see Mei clapping. Nice job, Naruto-kun, Mei said to him, and Naruto stopped his assault as he dispelled his clones. You too. I had a good time. Especially with this, Naruto said as he did a hand sign. Yoten, Yokai no Jutsu, Naruto yelled as he sent a wave of lava at Mei, and the shocked Mizukage backflipped away while Sasuke gasped. He watched the fight the whole time. When did Naruto switch to his Shinseinigan to copy it? Mei seemed confused as Naruto closed his eyes. But how? When? Did you just? She asked, and Naruto smiled with a nod while Mei seemed so impressed with the blonde even more than she already was. My lava jutsu was copied. How did you do it? She asked, and Naruto closed as he remembered the fight. You remember when I was in the air? Naruto asked, and she nodded while he smirked. Well, I copied it while you shot those lava bullets at me. Sorry, I just seemed too cool, but I won't use it if you don't approve. I'm sorry that I did copy it. I wouldn't want to disrespect you by using it like I did, Naruto told her, and Mei dusted herself off. Oh, it's alright. I'm rather happy that my technique is worthy of note to the Hokage. Be sure to use it well. Now I can be happy that such a cutie has my Kekai Genkai, she said, and Naruto nodded with a smile before they heard someone talk. Impressive fight, Naruto-kun, the person said, making Sasuke widen his eyes. Naruto glared hard, and Mei turned her head to see Itachi and Kisame coming from behind the trees. Itachi, Sasuke said as he balled his fists, but he remembered what he had to do and calmed down while Mei tensed. Naruto stepped forward and glared. Itachi, what are you doing here? Naruto asked while Kisame chuckled. Don't be in such a hurry to Gaki, Kisame said before he looked at Itachi as he wondered if the Uchiha prodigy was serious about doing this. Itachi closed his eyes before turning to his little brother. Hello Sasuke, do you still hate me? Itachi asked, expecting the answer, but he didn't receive the shout of hate that he thought he would like the last time. He only saw Sasuke look at the ground as he balled his fists, but he wasn't here for his brother. Don't worry Naruto-san, I'm not here to fight. Rather I'm here to talk, Itachi said, and Naruto closed his eyes. Is that so? Naruto asked while Mei glared at Kisame. She spotted the ex-Kiri headband and snarled at the Kiri swordsman. Yes, that is right. Come, let us talk, Itachi said before he spotted Naruto's eyes. That's fine, but you need to talk to someone first, Naruto said, and immediately he showed his eternal Mangekyo Sharingan and trapped Itachi in the Tsukuyomi while he turned to Sasuke. Look into my eyes, team, Naruto said, and Sasuke stared. He watched as Mei, Naruto, Kisame and Itachi disappeared. Soon there was a lush green meadow complete with a waterfall, clear blue sky, radiant sun and a soft breeze. Sasuke could feel the coolness over him and sighed before he stopped, Itachi looking at him and Naruto smiling as he clapped his hands. Don't try to break this, Itachi, cause you can't. Now then, I'm going to lay in this grass here and you two are going to sort this out, Naruto said as he laid down and closed his eyes in the Tsukuyomi while Itachi narrowed his eyes. Did he realize? Itachi wondered before looking back at Sasuke. The younger Uchiha looked at the ground as he wasn't sure what to say to the older one. He growled for a little while, but the pleasant background and the cool wind calmed him down. Why? Sasuke asked and Itachi raised an eyebrow. Sasuke gritted his teeth and growled. Why the hell did you do it? Sasuke yelled as he charged at Itachi. The older one dodged his attack easily and before long Sasuke pivoted his foot and huffed. Itachi watched him with an impassive gaze before he saw he slightly widened his eyes at tears that fell to the floor. Foolish little brother. You should know by now that. Shut up. Sasuke yelled, making Itachi stop as he closed his eyes. Sasuke's breathing grew heavier, but he wasn't tired or exhausted. He was just incredibly frustrated at the moment. Naruto heard everything between the two, but allowed him to talk. It wouldn't be his place to say anything yet. Don't take me for an idiot, Itachi. Why couldn't you tell me the truth? Why was I the only one who had to kill you? Sasuke asked and Itachi closed his eyes. I don't know what you're talking about, Itachi said while Sasuke growled. Oh, you don't know, huh? Fine. I read your file thanks to the dobe here. It told me everything. You volunteered to do it. Why? Why did the responsibility fall on you? I know about the clan's revolt. I know about loyalty, so why did you do it? Sasuke asked and Itachi tensed. He turned his gaze to Naruto, who was looking out at the fields minding his own business. You're too young to understand, Itachi said, but Sasuke shook his head and waved it off. Don't hand me that Itachi. Someone told me that you wanted me to kill you so I'd be seen as the hero, the avenger of the Uchiha clan. The sole survivor who rose up and managed to restore his clan to honor. What honor, Itachi? What honor was I supposed to restore? There'd have to be honor to restore it, but our clan wanted to revolt. Where is the honor in that? Sasuke asked, looking at the ground, and Itachi opened his eyes to see his little brother looking at the ground. It's true. I wanted you to be seen as the hero of the Uchiha clan. I wanted you to be the one who took out the Uchiha clan. The best way to do that was to hate me, despise me and seek to end my life, Itachi said while Sasuke growled. His eyes blazed with the Sharingan before he looked up at Itachi. And then what? I would have been even more lonely than before. My brother's bee would be on my hands and I wouldn't know how I could deal with it. Is that what you wanted? For me to be completely alone and to live the nightmare of the Dojutsu the clan over and over again? Sasuke asked while Itachi closed his eyes. He wasn't sure how to feel, but knowing that Sasuke knew the truth of it all made him rethink everything. He wouldn't know what to do anymore. It always puzzled me why you cried that night. The tears you shed as you ran away. I thought it was a joke, but it wasn't, was it? You really cried, Sasuke said, and Itachi put his head down in slight shame. You were always my precious little brother. No matter how foolish, you always wanted to surpass me. I thought that the revenge would motivate you enough to want you to end my life. Sasuke, my hands are stained by the bee of our clan. Mine and someone else's. I'll never be able to forget it, Itachi said, and Sasuke growled even more. Do you think I will either? I'll never forget what you did, but how am I supposed to feel that you killed the clan for the sake of the village? Did you love Konoha that much? Sasuke asked, and Itachi closed his eyes. Yes, I loved Konoha. Even now I love it. I loved it enough to kill my family and become an S-rank missing nin to keep it safe. It doesn't matter if people hate me so long as they're safe, Itachi said, and Sasuke looked at the ground again. The cool air blew past them both, making him a little more relaxed while Naruto folded his hands behind his head. You know what I think, Itachi? I think you're AF, coward, Sasuke said, making Itachi widen his eyes at his little brother. Even Naruto faltered from that, but he sure did wish they would and make up since his chakra was still running to maintain the damn Tsukuyomi. Plus he was getting tired. What's that supposed to mean, Sasuke? Itachi asked and Sasuke snickered. You want to run away from your pain. You want to hide and to never see it again. You don't want to take responsibility for it, Sasuke said and Itachi narrowed his eyes. And what do you know about taking responsibility? Itachi asked and Sasuke growled. Taking responsibility is dealing with the hurt that you dealt and bringing it to yourself. If you ruin someone's sword, you repay it with a better one. You take their money, you repay with twice the amount. You kill their family, you stay alive to remember the horror. Take responsibility, Itachi, Sasuke said, and Naruto wondered where Sasuke even got these things on responsibility, but he chalked that up to Genma and his teachings. Sasuke, Itachi said while Sasuke bit his lip. Get your act together, Itachi, and come home. Be my brother again. Teach me about the Sharingan, teach me about all the things that made you a prodigy. Show me what it's like to be a true wielder of the Sharingan, Sasuke said, and Itachi took off his Akatsuki cloak. He dropped it on the ground and closed his eyes. He used his finger and motioned for Sasuke. The young Uchiha walked cautiously up to Itachi only for his brother to jab him in the forehead with two of his fingers. Sasuke, you fool, Itachi said before Sasuke widened his eyes. He saw Itachi with his eyes closed and the biggest smile he could muster. I'm sorry. I was being selfish the whole time. My little brother'll teach you for real this time. All the things you'll need to know. We'll even have the talk one day, Itachi said, and Sasuke sported a small blush. That's just great, Sasuke droned while he felt uncomfortable. Meanwhile Naruto hopped to his feet and smiled. Finally Databayo, Naruto said, bringing the Uchiha back to him. Sasuke put his hands in his pockets and sighed while Itachi closed his eyes. So Itachi, what did you want to talk with me about? Naruto asked, and soon Itachi's gaze turned serious. Well, Hokage-sama, I was originally a messenger on Akatsuki activities for the village. I tell them the little things that would be going on enough not noticed, but in a few years we will begin to move, and I thought you'd might like to know that. We're staying clear of the Nibi Jinchuriki and Nanabi Jinchuriki as well as yourself, since we can't measure your strength as a cage. The Ichibi Jinchuriki is alright for the moment, but we'll be searching for the Sanbi soon, and I thought you should know that Orochimaru got back with Akatsuki, Itachi said, making Naruto and Sasuke narrow their eyes. So he's back with them, huh? I only heard that he had been a part of you guys once, but nothing to be interested in. Why's he back? Naruto asked, but Itachi shook his head. I don't know, but Pain, the leader of Akatsuki, announced it. I think Uchiha Madara has something to do with it, Itachi said, making Naruto and Sasuke widen their eyes. Uchiha Madara, the same one who was said to control Beiyu? Sasuke asked, and Naruto soon glared hard. He remembered Kyuubi's words and balled his fists. That's right. He's the only one to have the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. It is said that those who possess it gain eternal life and sight, but I don't know. I can only say that he's planning something with the Beiyu and it's happening soon, Itachi said to them both before turning to Sasuke. And he's the one who helped me in the Uchiha Itachi said while Sasuke balled his fists. Naruto placed her on his chin as he thought of everything. Great, more big news. Looks like I have more training to do. Well, whatever, Naruto said to himself as he made the note of contacting Kyuubi later. Alright, anything else? Naruto asked, and Itachi nodded. We're also going after the Yonbi. The Rokubi is unknown at the moment, or if they captured him already they haven't told me. I only know that we have the Gobi already, Itachi said, and Naruto nodded. Alright then. Until I have it finalized, Itachi, you are reinstated as a Konoha shinobi. I'm not taking no for an answer, so don't deny me, Naruto said, and Itachi smiled. I wouldn't think of it, Naruto-san, Itachi said, and he pointed to Sasuke. Alright, here are your orders. You are going to say how strong is your Sharingan? Naruto asked, and Itachi raised an eyebrow. Strong enough to even give you some trouble, Itachi said while Naruto's eyebrow twitched and Sasuke snickered. Right, well, here's what you do for me, Naruto said as he whispered into Itachi and Sasuke's ears. He told them everything before the Tsukuyomi world collapsed. Out of the Tsukuyomi, Sasuke opened his eyes, and so did Itachi and Naruto. Mei and Kisame were busy glaring at each other to make sure no one tried anything. She seemed relieved that Naruto woke up and Itachi turned back to Kisame and resumed his cold glare. Kisame were leaving, Itachi said, and Kisame widened his eyes. What? Why? We came here for nothing. Kisame asked and Itachi shook his head. He turned a glare to Sasuke and closed his eyes. No, it wasn't for nothing. Now come on, Itachi said, but Kisame shook his head and stared at Itachi. No, Itachi, we can't just. Kisame stopped while in his eyes the Sharingan appeared before vanishing. Itachi sighed and narrowed his eyes. Mei seemed surprised while Naruto and Sasuke smirked. I am S at the hands of the Yonbi Jinchuriki and you had to retreat. You don't remember much of any details, but you do know that I couldn't survive due to my recklessness with my Sharingan as I tried to subdue the Jinchuriki, but couldn't. I'm S and you know it for a fact, Itachi said while Kisame absently nodded before easily walking away. Itachi closed his eyes and they returned to normal. He took off his Akatsuki cloak and ring while he laid it on the floor and burned it. Did I miss something? Mei asked while Naruto gave a small smile. Well, it's a long story. Come on, let's go back to the village and I'll explain, Naruto told her while Mei nodded absently as she wondered what happened in that moment that Naruto, Sasuke and Itachi were staring at each other. Meanwhile Sasuke glared up at Itachi and frowned, making the older Uchiha look down. What is it, Sasuke? Itachi asked and Sasuke narrowed his eyes. Somehow you're a lot happier, Sasuke said and Itachi closed his eyes. It's just your imagination, Itachi said while Sasuke rolled his eyes. Whatever you say, he responded as the four of them walked away, but Naruto was about to know the cost of keeping a Jinchuriki around, especially Fu. Taki. Sir, I've received word that Konoha has the Nanabi Jinchuriki. Shall we take her now? Someone asked and the leader shook his head. No, not yet. Let us wait for a bit and then we'll force them to hand her over, he said with a small chuckle echoing in his office. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.